Welcome to my studio / practice space here. I'm going to be showing you how you can plug in a MIDI keyboard into an iPad Pro that has a USB-C port and put it into a sound system. And I'm going to be showing you two different USB hubs. I'm actually going to be testing this one for this video. I made a video yesterday with this guy and it works well, but I realized there was something important I forgot to say, so I'm going to be sure to include all the important information on this video. So I have two apps running at once. I have the Korg Module and I have the Gospel Musicians, it's also called MIDIculous, like MIDIculous, Pure Synth, Platinum. They have several options you can download. At the end of the video I'll show you how I get to this sound here in case you are interested in accomplishing this same sound. So simply put, what's happening is I'm taking this cord that comes with the MIDI keyboard. It's just the one that looks like a printer cable, or the kind of printer cable that has a USB on it. I'm just putting it right into this Ugreen device, and then also I am plugging in my interface into this device. And actually I can also plug in a charger here. Now I don't have it set up at this present moment, but it does charge the iPad well. I experienced that yesterday when I was making that video. Right here I just plugged in the charger to something like here, and it actually successfully did charge the iPad well while working everything. And as you can see, even though this is not plugged into a wall, it is still powering the MIDI keyboard and the interface, so it's not necessary. Now I don't know if there's going to be any potential issues because I am not powering it, but it does at least show that it works, and for sure it works because I did this yesterday when it was actually plugged into a power source, thereby also charging this. Now for the interface, I just noticed actually in my emails after I made a video that Focusrite came out with a new interface. I'm assuming it's going to work the same or better, of course. And I just want to submit to you that this Focusrite Scarlett series, this is the 4i4 3rd generation, that it does work for this. I'm assuming that all of those Scarlett Focusrites will work for this and potentially older ones. Now, I'm not an expert in sound, so I don't know how compatible other interfaces will be. But at least you can know if you have one of these, which a lot of people do, that it will work for this. And also important to say that what I'm presenting to you here is not the only way to do it, it's just a way that you can do it. Now, regarding being able to control the volume coming from your MIDI keyboard into your apps here, into the sound system, there's only one way I discovered to do it. Now again, I'm new to this, so there might be other options, especially depending on each music program, each app. But for the Focusrite interface, there's not a particular volume knob for the whole setup I have going on here. Now if I plugged, for example, one of these other keyboards in that, like the micro Korg here, and I just put it in through a 1/4-inch jack, then yes, I can control the volume with this guy, as well as, of course, just the personal gain. Now, what I'm going to show you here is when I play it, it does come through and it has a great, strong, clean signal, but the only way I can control it is on that speaker there. Now, there are other ways you could accomplish this. You could send it out into a small mixing board so you could have your personal control over it, or something else like that that can control the sound. But just want to point out that the interface itself here does not, unless, I'm going to turn this off for a moment, you plug it into the headphone jack. Bear with me. Now this little knob will control the volume. Turn the speaker back on. Turn it way up. Now you can see that the sounds still generate. Now something I actually personally like regarding these two apps I'm using is that the sound you're hearing right now is two apps at once. So next what I'm going to show you is this other device here, to go through whether or not it will work. Actually, first let me say this. This is the part I forgot to mention in the other video. See how the 48 volts is on? There's been cases where I've had to turn it on, it seems, to get it initiated. But now if I turn it off, it still works. But let me unplug it here for a moment. So I just unplugged the interface. And because I only have two hands, I'm going to set this down for a moment. So you can see my dirty floor there. Now I plugged it back in. And let's see if it plays now. No. So I need to push the 48 volts, at least to initiate it. And interestingly, there, it takes a moment. It's going in. Now, my guess is that if I had it plugged in, it would happen right away. Now, if I turn this off, again, I'm not an expert on this, but it's working. All right, so I'm gonna keep that in mind now when I'm gonna try this other device. These two were comparable in price, maybe $1 difference or so, but this guy was majorly on sale. So let's give this a go. I'm gonna unplug the Ugreen device. And I'm going to include in the description on this video the links and information for both of these devices, because not all devices work well. I had a different device. Again, being new to this, I wanted to find something that had an auxiliary output on it. Now, I don't know if it's because it just won't work that way, but it definitely did not work on that particular device. But also, I just had trouble with that device overall. And it only had one USB port, so I was having to run two combined with each other also, so that could have been part of the issue. Main point here is it's good to know what does work for sure, so I want to provide that information to you. Now notice how both of these, they have a shorter connector piece. This one's a little bit longer. You have all kinds of options you can find on the internet, and I'm sure Amazon would not appreciate me saying this, but something great about Amazon is that you can return stuff if it doesn't work properly. Just make sure you do it on time, of course. All right, so this one, you see, it does have the power there. Now, I don't know if this will even work if I unplug it, and we'll try that, I guess, at the end, though I don't believe that's super important. Now, both of these devices have the HDMI. This one has 3 USBs that are USB 3 and also work for other USBs. This one's also rated well. Let me set this down again for a moment, and I'm going to plug in the other 2 USB devices into this. And notice that they turn on. Now when I go to play it right away, again, it's not working. So I'm going to push on the 48 volt, and it's working. Now let's see, I would assume it's going to work the same, but let's see if I, again, remember I'm running 2 things at once. Let's see if it's running both at once. Yeah, you see the information shown up there, even though most of the sound you're hearing is from the other app. Just to kind of point out what I'm saying here, to clarify it, this will make it abundantly clear. So you hear the extra atmospheric sound that's coming from the other app. And as stated before, I said I would show you how I get to the sound in case you're interested in downloading this app. And I'll include this all in the description as well. So on this, you have many additional options you can download, which I did. Not all of them, but many of them. And so at the FM tines, you go there, and then you go there, and then you go there, and you can accomplish this sound. I believe the Korg module, maybe it was just on sale. It was like 20 bucks as well. I really appreciate this app because of the diversity of sounds that I can accomplish on this. Then as spoken before, I'm just going to see what happens if I unplug the power here. So it rebooted those, but it's still showing that they're powered. Let's find out what happens here. Nothing. Okay, so maybe I need to turn on the 48 volts again. Give it a moment. And there it is. So again, just to clarify, simple, as long as you have the right sort of equipment. You just take the cord out of there into a USB hub. The cord out of there into your USB hub. Go into your USB-C here. Again, these both have charger options as well. And I'd highly recommend that to keep your iPad charged while you're using all of this. And then the other thing is, for example with this, I'm running a 1/4 inch out, and then this particular cord has the XLR male on the other side, but the principle is you just have your monitor out or your headphone out, and then you're going into something. Now if you're doing something with a live ensemble, what is likely that you would want to do is that you would want to go from that into a direct box, convert it to an XLR, and then go into your snake or into your sound system.